Hello and welcome to the broadcast. Today we are going to talk about making friends in Serbia. What's that like? The answer inside the broadcast. Hello guys, Cam here with Serbian Language Podcast. Welcome to the broadcast. By the way, if you're enjoying your experience here on the broadcast, please go ahead and take the time to give us a big thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. Today we're going to talk about what it's like making friends in Serbia. And I get this question all the time. I spent 2 years in the wonderful country of Serbia and I had the opportunity to make a lot of friends, and those friendships I maintain to this day, and it's a wonderful thing. And I want to talk to you about the experience. So let's just get right into it. So before we go any further, I want to kind of explain what it's like to make friends outside of Serbia. And I've had the opportunity to live in multiple countries. I got a chance to spend a few years in South Korea, some time in Beijing, a few years in Beijing, also in Latin America as well, and obviously here in the States and in Serbia. And so my experience has been like this. I'm going to just start with America. I think it's a great place to start. I might even end there and go right into Serbia. So in America, there's lots of dynamics at play when you're making friends. Again, this is my personal experience. Perhaps you've had a different experience, and if so, please let me know what you think in the comments. I'd love to hear that too. But in America, we have lots of dynamics at play. There's race, unfortunately. There is social and economic status. And then there's what people do for a living. There's all these different dynamics that fly into it. And it makes the formation of friends somewhat complicated in this country, is what I would say. It does depend upon the region. I would personally say that I had a much easier time making friends when I lived, for example, in my home state of Texas than I have in other parts of the country, particularly in the north or northeast. But that's just my personal experience. I found that Southern hospitality to be a real thing. That said, because the dynamics are so complicated and diverse, the kind of conversations you're going to have in the very beginning when you're trying to meet friends are very different from the kind you're going to have in Serbia. Allow me to explain. So in America, our favorite question that we ask people, I don't do this because I can't stand this question, but a lot of Americans do it. It's, so what do you do? I can't stand this question, man. Like, what you do does not encapsulate who you are. I don't know who started asking that. Whoever that person is, I want to just meet him and just go, because there's so much more to a person than what they do to make a living. That question right there already puts people at dis-ease, because it's like, oh, are you going to judge me if I say I have this job? And the answer is yes, I am going to judge you if you have this kind of job. At least that's the case for a lot of Americans. Again, my personal experience. See, Serbs understand that what you do does not encapsulate who you are. So much so that that's not going to be the very first question they ask you. It's not. A more common question is going to be, so how do you like it here? Or what do you do for fun? Or do you speak some Serbian? Or is there something about the country that you like? They're going to be inquisitive about how you relate to either the country or different experiences that you're bringing or things that you like to do for fun. It's going to be much more interpersonal. It's not going to be the information gathering that a lot of American conversations start off with. I can't tell you how many times I've been asked, so what do you do? The first 4 or 5 sentences into meeting someone, boom, here comes that question. In Serbia, it actually takes a little while for people to ask you what you do because they want to know about you. And I think it's such a beautiful thing that we underappreciate in this country. I'll also say that making friends in Serbia, those dynamics that I mentioned regarding race and economics and social status and all these things, they dissipate. They fade into thin air. So many people can't believe it. A lot of Americans forget that the rest of the world doesn't do what we do. They don't. The rest of the world's not always talking about race. I'm not saying that there's no need to have racial conversations. It's just, that's not the case everywhere. Everybody's not having that kind of talk. In Serbia, no one really cares if you're Chinese or black or Latino. That just makes you more interesting. Then they really want to know more about you. That's so fascinating. So what's it like, being here for the first time? What's it like in your country? They're going to ask you these kinds of questions. So don't think that because you go into Serbia, don't take all that baggage from America. For those of you, all the Americans out there, don't take that baggage into Serbia thinking that the formation of Serbian friendships necessitate all the baggage that we have here. It doesn't. Leave that stuff at home, man. Just come to Serbia with an open mind and people are going to love you for it. I'll give you an example about how I met a friend and how easy it is to make friends in Serbia. And this will really showcase the difference in terms of culturally how people relate to each other. So I'm at a bar, classic spot, having a couple of drinks. I order this drink, which is traditional Serbian alcohol called rakija. It is fantastic. So I'm ordering this. This guy looks over. He sees what I'm ordering. He's like, hey, man, you like rakija? What kind did you just order? Comes over. We start chopping it up, having a conversation, having a good time. We order a round together. We exchange phone numbers. He's like, hey, next week we're going to this place. We're going to have some of this type of rakija. You got to come. Made a friend in about 5 minutes. I'm not going to say that doesn't happen in America, but before we got there, a question of, so what do you do? Definitely would have preceded all of the conversation that myself and my new Serbian friend had just had. So just know that it's really that easy to make friends. If you're open, if you're cool, Serbs are going to be cool with you. But this takes me to another very important point, so stay with me and keep listening. There's a different ethos, a different culture. In America, we care a lot about money. Keep it real. Yes, we do. A lot of people...
No, we don't. It's not that big.
Yes, we do. People care about it. I'm not one of those people, and there are exceptions to the rule. I'm proof of that. But it's something that exists, not just in America, around the world. But Serbs, see, they're a little bit different. See, in America, if you're a jerk and you have a lot of money, here's what an American would say about that. They would say, man, he's a jerk, but he sure does have a lot of money. And they would want to continue to be friends with you. Now, in Serbia, it's different. You can be a jerk and have a lot of money. Here's what Serbs would say about that, and I'm generalizing. They would say, he sure does have a lot of money, but man, is he a jerk. And they wouldn't want to be friends with you. They're not going to be friends with you now. It's over. Why? Because you being a jerk supersedes the amount of money that you have. They care about you as a person, not what you can do for them. They're fine. They're not worried about that. They're not looking at you as some potential asset. They're looking to see if you're going to be a cool person, you're a good person to have a drink with and sit down and chop it up with. A good person to converse with and share things with. That's what they're focused on. And I think that Serbians got this down to a science. And that's why me and Serbs get along. Shout out to all of you. We get along so well because we share this ethos. It's a very special ethos because it's earnest, it's sincere, it's genuine, and you're going to get that vibe and that feel when you travel around Serbia and other parts of the Balkans as well. I love that about the region. I think that is, in my opinion, one of the most important reasons why you want to learn Serbian. So you can sit down and speak to all the Serbs, whether they speak English or not, in their native language and enjoy a sincere, earnest, genuine conversation because, man, are those hard to come by, and I don't take those for granted. So my next question for you is, when are you going to make some Serbian friends? If you haven't made some already, don't waste any time. You got to do it immediately. They are wonderful people. I want to give a special shout out to the people of Serbia. Much love and respect. Hvala vam puno. I can't wait to engage further with you guys. All my friends out there in Serbian family, love you. Be seeing you soon. And if you haven't made Serbian friends yet, I highly recommend you find a way to do so immediately. And you can do it by traveling over to Serbia, joining the Serbian Language Podcast community and taking online classes and benefiting from the online resources that they have created for you. Again, if you enjoyed this particular episode, please give us a big thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and let us know what you think in the comments. We'll see you soon. Ciao.